Hi everyone, let's get started. So today we're going to talk about the market economy and also the roles of the government. Okay, before we started, let's do some recap from what we learned for the last few weeks. Okay, we know the economy problem in general, so it's the scarcity. So what does that mean? So we have unlimited wants and needs. And how about the resources? Limited. Okay. Therefore, with the private sector in the market, and they can make some decisions, but we also need the government to step in because we need to distribute the resources in different way. Okay, so today let's have a look about the market economy. Based on what we learned from last week, we know there are some shortcomings for the market economy. Do you guys still remember?
Equity.
So equity, so it's lack of equity. So what does that mean? It means senior people, unemployment people, they get less resources. Okay, so it's lack of equity. How about others?
Need of provision of public goods.
Public goods, yeah. As we learned from last week, okay, the private sector, they are profit driven, so they don't want to provide public goods such as streets, lights, all the road services. That's why we somehow need the government step in. Okay, what are the other shortcomings?
Side effect.
Side effects, which means when they just focus on the profit, they might just damage the air, like they have some air pollution. Yeah, something like that. Okay, and how about the fourth one? Regulation. So regulation meaning what? So because as well as the private sector, so they don't really want to regulate all the rules. For example, they probably sell something really really high. For example, we only have one cafeteria in our campus, and that's why the price setting is very high. We need some authority to step in to regulate the price, make it reasonable.
Rules.
Okay, yeah, rules. Okay, okay. So as we know, market economy is quite good. It's actually the main thing of what Australia use. But the thing is, they have some shortcomings. Therefore, we need what? We need government. We need the government to step in and to regulate all these things. How the market going? Okay, and talk about the government. What do you guys know about the government? They have like you're actually dealing with them every day, such as what sort of government you know.
Local.
Okay, so the government have local government. What does local government do?
The rubbish bin collection.
Rubbish bin collection, yeah.
Everyday life. I don't know. Yeah.
Rubbish bin collection.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And for example, they do some pet control, like local parks, town planning. Okay. When you go to parks, is that the local government do? What the other?
The next
government?
one, state.
State government. Okay. What does state government do?
Hospital.
They do hospital, yeah. And school.
Schools. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so pretty much the state government is regulating something related to the whole state. Okay, and they do the roads and transport as well. See, transports, for example. Okay, and what is another example of the government?
Federal.
It's a federal government. What does the federal government do?
Immigration.
Okay, so they're dealing with all the like country problems, like immigration, yeah. And what else?
Travel.
Travel. And maybe some the relationship between Australia and China, that kind of thing. So they deal with that kind of thing. Okay, all right. So and today we mainly focus actually the roles of the economic role of the government. Okay, so I did hand out some lecture slides. You guys have a look, and then in a group we talk about the government role one, which is the provision of public good and services. I give you about 1 minute, okay, and then we do some summarize on the board. Okay, let's talk about that. So, provision of public goods and services. May I please ask you guys, what is public goods and services? Okay, is anyone know? Yeah, we talked about that just now. Okay, so a public goods by definition is provided by the government and funded by taxpayer, which means, for example, what is public goods and services? I see your group have some very good examples. Yes, roads, footpaths, okay, and lights, parks. Sorry, the outside is a bit noisy. I hope everyone can get attention to me, okay? Okay, all right. All these things. Why we talk about that? Why the the private sector don't want to do these things? Correct, because they don't make profit. So that's why the government is providing all these things. Okay, so that's why the first row is government need to provide this, because it can used by everyone. Okay, um, what's the characteristic for these things? Yes, they are essential. Correct. Essential. What else? Very good point, Ethan. So they are non-exclusive, which means what? Everyone can access. Okay? Yeah. And the private sector don't want to do it because it's non-for-profit. Yeah, because you go on the road, I don't charge you anything, isn't it? You use the public goods and services. So that's why we need the government to step in to do this kind of thing. Because if they don't make profit, no private sectors want to do it. Okay? Yeah, I see in your group you make some interesting things like about the public good and services. What is the public services you use every day and you don't realize? I hear Emily say it's transfers. You don't realize the transfers is lose money, isn't it? You think about it every day when you go the bus, apart from the one you take when you come to school and go back home. If you see the daily, the regular one, most of the buses they sometimes just have one or two passengers. And think about what we pay for that. Yeah, or the petrol and the bus driver's income. Yes, so that's count as public services is because it's the government provided to the taxpayers for our convenience. Yes. Yes, you are correct. Okay. All right. So we're going to talk about the government role 2. Okay. The government role 2 is income distribution. Income distribution. What does that mean? So where is all the income come from? Okay, income distribution. Where how did the government get their income? Is it tax? Yes, tax. So we pay tax. Yeah, that's where the government normally get its income come from. Okay. Yeah, we talk about the government role is called income distribution. So what is income distribution? Jason? Yeah, income distribution refers to how the nation's wealth and income is spread across its population. Okay? Yeah, so why government need to do that? You remember when we talk about the role is lack of equity. So the senior, the disabled, they get less resources, right? So the first thing the government want to do the income distribution is bridge the gap between the rich and the poor. In other words, we don't want the rich people get too rich and the poor people, they cannot even survive. Okay? Yeah, they need to meet their basic need. At least they have the food and shelter. Correct. Okay, so that is the Robin Hood approach. I hand out the material, you should have a read what is the Robin Hood approach. Okay? So they bridge the gap between the rich and poor. So which means make sure what? Everyone have the basic living needs to be met. Okay? So which means what? At least you have the food and shelter. Okay? Yeah, that's correct. Yeah. Oh, that's a good point. So the income is come from taxes. Okay, tax about what? You pay taxes when you earn income, isn't it? So that's called personal tax, personal income tax. Yeah, income tax. And the government, no, the government, the company also have the company tax, correct? And then Elaine talked about a very interesting idea. Not interesting, it's like, okay, GST. Yeah, it's also part of the government income. That is correct. Okay, so we're going to cover that one now. So it's about it's actually GST is part of tax as well. It's called indirect tax. It's GST. So every time you go to, even you eat something in the canteen, if you have a look, for example, you buy a chicken roll, it's $7, but you pay a 10% GST, so 70 cents. So you pay 7.70 in the end. So that 70 goes to the government and it's become government income. Okay, and government use that for all the essentials like build the road, the hospital, the school. Okay, that's why when you come to public school, you actually don't pay because the government sponsored. Okay, and okay, look at the sheet in everyone's one. We have the taxable income chart. That is the 2020 version. So I want you guys know how to read that. Okay, for example, in the bracket taxable income. So how much you pay tax if you earn 18,000? Lily? None. Yeah, that's correct. Because between 0 to 18,200, you actually don't pay tax. Okay, and then how about if you earn 2,000? 19 cents multiplied by 2,000. Yes, correct. Because you pay 19 cents for each dollar when it's over 18,200. Okay, so pretty much if you earn 20,000, for instance, it's just minus 18,200 and times 19 cents. That's how much you pay for tax. Okay, I just want you guys to have a basic understanding about how to calculate that. We might encounter that in later stage. Okay. So we talk about the income distribution. So what sort of group the government will distribute the income to? Yeah, pensioner. Yeah, unemployed people. How about that? Did you guys ever apply the youth allowance? Yes. So it's a youth allowance, childcare subsidy or care allowance. Okay. Yeah. Yes. You guys actually go there all the time. The catering. Yeah. I mean Centralink. Apology. Catering, what I'm talking about. Okay. Yes. All right. So today we covered the row number 1 and number 2, and I did hand out the government numbers, the row number 3, which is the regulating businesses. Think about why do we need the government to regulate all the businesses? Okay, I will leave that at the homework. You guys do some research. Okay. So let's see what we talked about today. Okay, regarding what? So first thing we talk about what is the shortcoming of the market economy, and then we talk about because of that we need the government to step in, okay, to get involved with the market, and then to regulate the businesses and make sure all the functions works well. Okay, and then we talk about the first role of the government, which is the provision of the public goods and services. And then we talk about the second role of the government, which is the income distribution. Okay, I hope you guys can work out the taxable, bracket. Okay, so when you get a casual job or something, and you know how much taxes you're actually going to pay. And then the take home work you guys need to research is about the third row. Why and how the government regulating businesses. Okay, thank you everyone. Today we just finished here. You have a good weekend. Bye.